Thank you for joining us today at the Downsview Park for a tour of this vast area that is going to be totally transformed before our very eyes over the next 30 years.
Let's visualize a building, though we're by the lake. Let's visualize a commercial space here, which we're going to see a few later. We have the potential for so much prosperity in this land. And there's so much potential for wealth that could be benefiting our communities if it's planned and allocated with intention.
We cannot have a city in which the prosperity is centered in the development alone. It must be shared with local communities. We must make sure that we're not looking through chain link fence, watching great things go up, and then there's not a sharing of the wealth that creates it. Remember, we can't just build buildings. We have to build communities and neighborhoods.
In light of eradicating poverty and building on land such as these, how will low-income and poor people fit into the new equation of this development?
We're here for an afternoon of learning and discussion as we highlight the diverse histories of the Downsview and look towards the planned redevelopment of the area with focused attention on the priorities that our community stakeholders have identified during our CBA for Downsview community engagement process over the last 2 years.
When we think about big redevelopments like the one that we're talking about at Downsview, how those redevelopments can be imagined as green, as affordable, and as ways to bring in good jobs for workers.
From a farmer's perspective, we hear a lot of talk about, mention affordable housing and accessibility. But the point is that a lot of these developers, they acquire land that normally people like us would have access to.
Yeah.
We don't get that. You know, people have these vertical gardens. You can't eat vegetables all your life in terms of lettuce. What about the root foods and stuff? We need land, herb, soil that we can grow healthy food.
First Nations, we're sick and tired of being told what to do. And we're working with inner city people and First Nations to actually build housing, to teach ourselves how to clean the water, and more importantly, how to get along with each other. Because a society that does not care about those that are dispossessed, it's a society that needs to be changed.
The Downsview development is going to be one of the biggest developments in Toronto history. This is going to be like a 30+ year development. It's going to be like a massive swath of land that could completely change the neighborhood. We want to ensure that when it does happen, the local community, people already living here, people already living in the neighborhood are the ones benefiting from this development, not just, new wealthy residents moving in.
Social procurement on this project can be a way for this community and for businesses in this community to benefit both directly and indirectly. A community benefit agreement on this project will allow us to identify opportunities for employment and procurement that will benefit not only the project team members themselves, but also the community here.
Imagine around me, new buildings going up. Let's think about how to make them sustainable and green, and also how workers can be trained in the skills that are needed and are going to be so incredibly more needed in the next 17 years as we run towards those net zero goals.
There's going to be tons of opportunities for people who don't have the skills and don't have the ability to get jobs to learn from what we're doing here and to work with groups like TCBN and others to get the skills they need to get hired.
We want to make sure that we hear from the local people to create a community that stitches in together with the existing communities that surround it. So everyone's input is incredibly valuable.
I give credit to the Toronto Community Benefits Network for the tough negotiations that you do to make sure you secure benefits for local communities, because you don't want to just housing people is crucial, but housing people in livable, prosperous, healthy communities, I think is really what we're looking for. And I think the work you're doing is great.